Boom!
That was so cool.
What is up? Good evening. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unspecified Podcast. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Good to see you, Ghetto. Golf and Guns. What's up? Man, it is good to see you guys. My chat is running slow right now.
I love
so,
that. It's a little bit.
Just a little bit. So, let me see here. I got a lot to get into.
Yeah.
How are you doing this evening?
Oh, pretty good, you know. Another day in paradise.
How are the things out there? Going and doing the things at the Wally World or the gas station. I gotta say, gas dropped 10 cents overnight. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
The tax, whatever.
Is that what happened? Because, boy, it was perfect time. We were flat on empty with the gas light on.
That's right.
And went to go and put some fuel in.
As far as the goings out, I'll tell you, it seems weird going out. Does anybody else notice that? It seems like everyone on the road is really angsty.
Yeah, that's really, right. A lot of attitude.
Yeah, like they're like, hit me, I dare you.
Or like taking things personal real quick.
Right. Where, like merging lanes. Merging is, even though merging lanes are to yield, they get over like they have the right of way. Or I don't know, it's really weird. People are being like hyper aggressive on the road.
Hyper aggressive, yeah. That's a good word for it. Cody, what's up, brother? I totally agree.
It bleeds over to the stores. So then, like, everybody is acting weird. You know what I think is a good indicator, just a little tester of your local area, is when you're pumping gas to look at the other pumps and see, like, what are people getting? Because, when you're broke...
I do that now. I do that now.
So,
I looked over, you pointed out, the pump next to us only had, like, exactly 1.015
gallon.
And it was, like...
484 or something like that. So but then the pump in front of us was $100, and then the pump to the side of us was like 10 gallons. And so but even 10 gallons isn't that much. And so anyway, it's just a good idea. Look around, see, because when you're broke, you don't fill the tank up. It's like, let me just get a couple gallons.
I know, I do that all the time. I don't drive my truck, okay? It's just it's too uneconomical to drive it for pleasure, and when I do drive it, it's to go get fuel.
Right. So I guess I don't know, but I just think it's a good indicator because if you look around and it's all high numbers, okay, well people are still at least doing well enough that they can fill their gas tank, and typically speaking, people will choose food over gas, so. That typically is going to be two things that are okay, and those are big two things, right? Your means to go make money, and the product thereof, that energy, which you can turn there into food.
That's right. Peter Van Nort, very good to see you. Dopey Dude, what's up? Good evening, guys. Good evening. Good to see you.
10 gallons.
Glad to have you. Thank you for clicking on the video, guys. 10 gallons is $50.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's killing it. All right, so I don't know if you guys have heard. We can get into our first topic, which really just came onto my radar, but apparently it's about 3 days old news, but there are some new articles about it. So let's switch over. A night of rage on abortion. Okay, I don't even know if that's probably a prohibited word. I don't know all the rules to YouTube. I've been out for a minute.
That's right.
The shadowy group Jane's Revenge issues a call to riot against the Supreme Court if it overturns Roe v. Wade.
Okay, does that count as the T word, though? Because you're using fear tactics.
You're talking about terror?
Yeah, because you're using fear tactics to
yield
a result.
No, it's absolutely,
but that sounds purge as all get out, that sounds straight out of the Purge movie.
American Be Savage.
What's
up, brother?
It's like 3 different horror movies in one. You've got Night of the Living Dead, right, in the title, Night of Rage, and then the Rage virus of 28 weeks later.
Oh, Lord. So,
anyway,
I just think that this is some radical left stuff. We got another article on it right here.
Do you mind if we read some of that?
Sure.
I'll do it.
Absolutely.
Okay. As the 9 justices prepare to issue their final opinions of the current term, barricades are going up around the Supreme Court building. It's sad but necessary security measure because violence can't be ruled out in response to the ruling. The threat is explicit on abortion, as the arrests of an armed man outside Justice Brett Kavanaugh's home attests. Demonstrators continue to protest outside the homes of some justices, and now comes a vow from the shadowy group that calls itself Jane's Revenge to commit what sounds like Democrats would call insurrection if it were aimed at another part of government. A friend last week sent a photo of a flyer popping up around Washington. D.C. call to action, night of rage, it declares. The night SCOTUS overturns Roe v. Wade. Hit the streets. You said you'd riot. Wow. It continues, to our oppressors, if abortions aren't safe, you're not either. Jane's Revenge. Wow. That's an incitement to more than peaceful protest against the court. The threat of violence has to be taken seriously because Jane's Revenge has already taken credit for acts of destruction against pregnancy crisis centers around the country. Our Nicole Alt nearby reports on this ominous trend against pro-life groups that counsel pregnant women when considering abortion.
That's right, American v. Savage.
Wow.
Stuck out west. What's up? Good to see you. Hi from East Tennessee. Bloopy Doopy. What's up? Nan, what's up? Good to see you.
Oh my gosh.
Golfing Guns. What's up, dude?
It's so good to see everybody.
It's so good to have you guys back, man.
I guess that's all we needed to hear for that. But just, be careful, guys. I am praying that it gets overturned, but I don't want...
I'm going to read this. Media reports say the Federal Bureau of Investigation is investigating the attacks. I was going to say, whoops, Freudian slip. Instigating, sorry. And we hope so. Attorney General Merrick Garland made a show of establishing a domestic terror unit at the Justice Department. And equal justice means it can't be aimed merely at right-wing groups.
That's right. That's right.
The Jane's Revenge threats have received little attention in the rest of the press, but we hope the Washington, D.C. and Capitol Police are much better prepared than they were for the riots of 2020 and 2021. How about, remember people, it was the justices and the court as democratic institution have to be protected. All this defense of democracy. We are a republic.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
So, Biden apparently heard about it. This is 3 hours old. Biden denounces threatened night of rage over anticipated abortion ruling.
Right.
Let's see, what's this? White House remarks.
On Roe, there's a group that has been distributing flyers around Washington, D.C., but also across the country and also online called Jane's Revenge that declares there will be a night of rage, looting, burning, rioting if Roe is overturned. What message does this White House have in advance of that ruling as we get closer to it?
So, again, violence and destruction of property have no place in our country under any circumstance, and the president denounces this action. Actions like this are completely unacceptable, regardless of our politics. So we have denounced that, and we will continue to denounce any violence or threats.
That feels like Michael Scott coming out of the
As
office.
we get closer to the Supreme Court.
Sorry about that.
That feels like Michael Scott coming out of the office like, I declare bankruptcy. Like,
you can't
we
just
have
declare
declared that we denounce this.
Sorry about that.
Trash man.
Dragon Slayer, what's up? Dave the Mace. The Mace is specified. LOL. What's up, dude? Brooklyn, what's up? Good to see you. Man, that is awesome. Hello, my friends.
This feels like old times. I'm just like basking in the moment.
And then there's this article from AP, heightened alert, abortion providers brace for ruling. So,
I bet. Have to go through, are there multiple pictures? Yeah, 8. Just out of curiosity.
She's bracing.
That's right.
He's bracing that door.
That's right.
She's worried.
That's concern.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Okay, cleans up broken glass after an early morning firebombing at the Compass Care Facility and Anti-Abortion Center in Amherst, New York on June 7th, 2022. Oh, they're going to burn that place. So, so they hate an anti-abortion center. Harassment and violence have become, let me get rid of this, have become common outside abortion clinics over the decades since the landmark 1973 ruling legalizing abortion Abortion opponents also have been targets of violence and say they've also seen an increase in incidents since the draft opinion leaked, though the FBI in a 2020 memo described the incidents as historically rare. Okay. Dr. Tiller's killer is a hypocrite coward.
Okie dokie.
Looks like an old picture.
It does. Isn't it funny how pictures age like that?
Law enforcement agents from the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms searched the ground outside the New Woman All Women Health Care Clinic in Birmingham, Alabama on January 29th, 1998. So it's not really that old. Well,
That's pretty old.
It's pretty old, but
that's pretty old.
golly, it doesn't seem like it's that old. A bomb exploded outside the clinic early Thursday, killing an off-duty Birmingham police officer and a clinic nurse. Harassment and violence have become common outside abortion clinics over the decades since the landmark 1973 ruling legalizing abortion. Now, providers and some in law enforcement worry what will come next. Ooh, what we're going to see now. People can't afford to turn up like they did in 2020, man. You can't be driving,
That's right.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Which is that, what do you think?
You never
Is that
know. The
part of
left is so well organized. They're so good at organizing
Right.
and networking that they'll be like, they'll promise everyone $100 gas cards to show up, and everyone will, and there'll only be like 200 of them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, let's take a doom break from the night of rage. If you haven't heard us talk, or what we've been talking about so far, apparently, awaiting this Roe v. Wade decision.
That just is blowing my mind, because this is like, for a lot of left mentality or women's rights, this has been like worst case scenario.
Dude, Doopy Dude says, good to see you too. It's been a while. Are you ready for riot season?
No.
Are you ready for riot season?
I'm not.
Hey man, Dragon Slayer, it's good to be back. Hunter X Angler, Brace is right. LOL.
Wow, is it every summer now? Is that a true thing? Do we really have riots every summer? Is that our future for a while?
Hey, maybe we didn't really how many did we have last summer? This past.
Well, the riots of 2020 and 2021, and
Okay.
so then this is 2022, and they always kind of dry up in the winter because we assume because it gets so cold.
No more vaping. You used to use a lot. I see you. I see you a lot better now.
Yeah. Well, he's hanging in there.
Gary, brother, thank you so much, man. Good to see you. What is up? Good to see you, brother.
Who could afford to smoke nowadays, eh?
That's what I'm saying. Man shoots pet crocs and delivers their carcasses to government offices. The Australian man said he had no choice but to kill the animals and criticized a rule change that meant pet crocodiles were being put on death row. What do you think about that?
But people had pet crocodiles?
Australian has gun, because it says Australian man shoots pet crocs. I guess in Australia, if they trust you with crocs, they'll trust you with guns. I don't know.
That's the opposite of what they're saying, because now they're basically saying that people could have pet crocodiles, and now there's a law saying they can't, so this man has to come around and shoot them, but he doesn't agree with it. He's just doing what he's told, so he sends the carcasses.
This is just a dude that owns crocs. Well, let's read. An Australian man shot dead his 2 crocodiles and delivered their carcasses to local government offices after being denied a renewal permit that would allow him to keep the animals. Adrian Hogg from the North Queensland town of Innisfail bought the saltwater crocodiles to keep as pets in 2018. At that time, he was legally allowed to keep the giant reptiles at home as long as they were held within a proper enclosure that was equal to those found in farms and zoos. In 2020, however, the Queensland government changed the legislation and made it illegal to keep crocodiles as pets, citing the fact that they are considered a public safety risk. When Hogg's original permit expired in November, he applied for a new one, but the Department of Environment and Science ultimately denied it, and last week informed him that he had to find a new home for the 1.2 meter crocodiles within 20 days or be faced with potential fines. He chose to kill them instead. What? I shot them because it was instant death. He said, according to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, my kids have cried for days. They are so upset, and so am I. Well, maybe, I mean...
Listen, I have to question
You can't
here.
just give up the Crocs, man. You can't just... You got to fight them. But I get it. Y'all, if you have been paying attention, then you know how authoritarian the Australian government has become. Okay?
Okay,
Or
I'm too caught up in the
tyrannical.
nitty-gritty because I'm like, how close were you letting your kids get to these crocodiles? Look past the point and look at the situation.
No, the rules are that he could have them.
I know,
long
but
as they-
the rules don't protect his kids from getting eaten. In fact, the new rule kind of sort of does.
I'm
Not
sure
that
they
I'm-
don't go in the enclosure without...
Well, they're upset enough to be crying for days. Can you imagine Abigail crying for days over in a knoll?
To prove the crocodiles had been shot, Hogg delivered their carcasses to government offices in Innisfail, where DES officers could scan their microchips before taking them away. Wow. This, he claimed, was a requirement in order to prove that they were dead. The DES denied that he was required to kill the animals nor deliver their bodies to their office for verification. The deaths of the animals, which are listed as a vulnerable species, are now under investigation.
Yo, so he got mad, was trying to prove a point, and now he's going to get charged with, like, animal cruelty.
Now that's a knife. That's hilarious. The DES did not direct Mr. Hawk to shoot the 2 crocodiles that had been in his care. The wildlife officers are now investigating the circumstances associated with those deaths. A spokesperson for the department told the ABC the department provided a number of options to Mr. Hogg to support the animals to be rehomed by transferring them to either a Queensland commercial wildlife farm or zoo or an appropriately licensed person interstate. Hogg suggested these were not viable or ethical alternatives. The crocodiles' farms would have taken them and skinned them. That's after you have moved them and stressed them, he said, claiming that all the zoos he'd contacted in the area were full. DES stated, however, that they had offered to arrange for a veterinary surgeon to humanely euthanize the crocodiles. Well, I mean, so did he if he shot them, right? In any case, Hogg, who built a $30,000 enclosure for his pet crocs after that shows you how much that dude really cared.
Right.
He cared so much. I mean, I bet his enclosure was awesome. Enclosure for his pet crocs after being issued his original permit denounced the sudden change of rules and legislation that, in his view, condemns the animals to death. Pet crocodiles are now put on death row due to a policy change, he said. I bought them legally. I kept them legally. I have abided by every rule. Yeah, this is some screwed up stuff whenever they do
It is, but
twisty
watch
turny
out
stuff.
because he could.
No,
so
I mean they couldn't grandpa him in.
No, but look, because they feel like he overreacted and he's trying to make a point. So now they're investigating the deaths. He's already said he killed them. And so they're investigating. No, what they're saying is we're coming up with charges to place on you, and we'll get back to you at a later date when we've decided what all those are.
Oh, man.
But anyway, interesting.
Crocodile
interesting.
tears.
Oh, yeah. Tiff, I just got done with a $10 cigar, so I barely can. LOL. Green, gas. Oh, yeah, gas. No one rides for free. You know, Linda and I were just saying that the
We
other
were just
day.
saying that. No one rides for free.
I've been neck deep in crocs and snakes in Queensland. Those were days for sure. I bet. Now that's hilarious. People have crocs and cobras in the USA. Do they have crocs in the USA?
Yeah, they have saltwater crocs in Florida. People will argue you, but it's true.
Like pets, though? Like Betty White did.
I don't know
I
about pets, but I do know I have personally seen on video.
When I was little, when I was younger, there used to be this show on Nickelodeon with Melissa Joan Hart. It was Clarissa Explains It All. And she had a pet caiman alligator that she kept in a little kiddie pool in her room. As an adult, I now realize how disgusting and smelly that room probably was.
Ooh.
Not to mention poor parenting style and judgment on her parents' part. But as a kid, that was totally bad A. You know what I mean? I was like, I want to be cool and have a pet alligator.
A pet caiman.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody will mess with me. I'll stick my alligator on you.
So this is some UK news. Apparently, polio is spreading in the UK for the first time in decades, officials claim. All right. Since 1984.
Wow. Health bosses urged Brits to check their children's jabs are up to date after picking up signs of the virus being passed between individuals.
It's to go make sure you're up to date because, you know, there's something else going around now. You know, of course.
Scroll down. Well, polio is huge.
Of course.
Experts have detected the same bug in London sewage samples since April, a clear signal of a community outbreak. No cases have yet been confirmed in the UK, and the UK HSA said samples were found in East and North London. This, chief says, suggests it is likely that there has been some spread between closely linked individuals. Because of this, they said these cases could be shedding the virus strain in their feces.
Oof.
Investigations are currently ongoing, and there have not yet been any cases of paralysis reported. Head of the Vaccine Epidemiology Research Group at Imperial College London, Professor Nicholas Grassley, said there is concern that the virus may be circulating locally in London and could spread more widely. Medics today said the emergence of the polio in the UK reminds us that it has not yet been eradicated. The last case of polio being contracted in Britain was in 1984, and the country was declared polio-free in 2003. Before a vaccine was introduced in the 1950s, epidemics would result in thousands of people being paralyzed annually and hundreds of deaths. UK health security experts believe a traveler likely from Pakistan, Afghanistan, or Nigeria shed the virus in their stools after being given the oral polio inoculation. But the bug has now spread to others after mutating, with the same strand being repeatedly detected in sewage samples since May. Health bosses have now launched an urgent investigation to pinpoint the source and boost vaccination in affected areas.
Dragon Slayer says, want a vicious pet? Get an emu. Wait,
That's right.
Hold up.
That's right.
Because I might.
No. Look, they are modern-day velociraptors.
Look, they're good security.
No, they're evil. They're mean. They're mean.
Good front yard pets.
Okay, well, anybody, you need to know. Sore throat, fever, tiredness, nausea. Crap, I've got polio.
No, you don't.
Headache, yep, it's for sure. Stomach pain, oh no. Oh gosh. Oh no!
No, come on.
I don't have a sore throat.
They're not even going to relate this
Or
to
fever.
you know what. Right, that's right.
Right. That's right. Anyway, well, that's, just be aware that there's, new stuff now, because they're like, I think people are over the Wuhan wiggle. I think they're over it. We got to come up with something new, boss.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm ready to change gears.
Pretty colors.
Just so you know, they're saying polio is in the UK.
Yeah, and then what was it? They had smallpox. Remember they found the little vials of smallpox?
That's right. They need to stop pulling stuff up out of the ocean, man.
That's right. Wait, what? This came out of the
I thought
ocean.
that the smallpox came from, I don't know.
No, remember somebody found it in like a box or something.
I thought they found it on the box on a sunken ship.
No,
or is that
but that's
House?
fantastic.
I think I've seen that in House. There was this weird episode. I don't know.
That's fantastic. That's a really
there
fantastic
you go.
story.
Lala HK, what's up? Cell radiation.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like I thought you meant SELL.
That's
I'm like,
right.
I don't want to sell it.
Right.
Yeah, because look, Alex Jones is always right, and he's been selling that anti-radiation crap for years, and I've been making fun of him, and I should have been buying it. Dang it, I knew it.
If I had a jar
That's right.
full of times he was right.
It's just making me mad.
Here, let's see if we can refresh this. I don't even know if we're allowed to say this word, but I guess I will. Uvalde City Council denies.
To the new revelations about the Uvalde Police Department and what a top
said it.
Texas safety official calls its, quote, abject failure to confront the gunman who killed 19 children and 2 teachers. Maria Villarreal has the latest on the investigation.
As new surveillance images emerge from inside Robb Elementary School during the deadly mass shooting. Overnight, city council members denying the school's embattled police chief, Pete Arredondo, the chance to take a leave of absence from his duties.
I make a motion we do not grant the leave of absence for Councilman Arredondo.
This as the actions of officers that day get a searing indictment inside the Texas Senate.
There's compelling evidence that the law enforcement response to the attack at Robb Elementary was an abject failure.
The director of the Texas Department of Public Safety insisting police could have stopped the deadly attack 3 minutes after it began.
The only thing stopping a hallway of dedicated officers from entering room 111 and 112 was the on-scene commander, who decided to place the lives of officers before the lives of children.
This image obtained by ABC affiliate KView showing officers equipped with rifles and a ballistic shield they could have used to storm the room at 11:52 a.m. More shields and rifles seen in this image first obtained by the Texas Tribune at 12:04 p.m. And then this image, first obtained by the New York Times, showing nearly a dozen officers in the hallway at 12:46 p.m., moments before they finally took down the gunman. The massacre lasting 77 minutes.
The officers had weapons, the children had none. The officers had body armor, the children had none. The officers had training, the subject had none. 1 hour, 14 minutes and 8 seconds. That's how long the children waited and the teachers waited in rooms 111 to be rescued.
McCraw also saying officers wasted time searching for a key for a door that wasn't locked. While dozens of officers waited, kids were calling 911 from inside for over 40 minutes.
Is there anybody inside of the building? Tom is advising he is in the room full of victims at this moment.
New testimony revealing the chief had no radio to communicate with dispatchers, and police radios were not working inside the school. Arredondo spotted Tuesday after testifying in a closed hearing.
What anything to say to the parents?
He recently told the Texas Tribune he felt he was in an impossible situation and wanted to save as many lives as possible. But McCraw says Arredondo made terrible decisions.
Mistakes were made. It should have never happened that way.
Families now demanding transparency. Vinny Salazar lost his 11-year-old daughter, Layla.
I want to know what took them so long to act. If they've got nothing to hide, then everything should be open to the public so that we can hear what happened.
More testimony is expected today here in Austin on gun safety and on mental health, but a lot of state legislators are calling on Governor Greg Abbott to call a special session. They don't want to just talk about what happened. They want to change the laws, but the only way that can happen is if they are in session.
They want to change the laws.
He says he's
not another law is going to do anything
Right.
about this. Bobby, dude, you're totally right. He says all the good ones left.
That's right.
That's exactly right. There were no real men there, except for those Border Patrol agents who decided to go, and that mom who ran up in there.
That's right.
You know,
but they were trying to tackle her.
That's messed
And
up.
then, you know, like that guy said, it was in an impossible position. I wonder, so what was the other? We know what this rock is. You're sitting there waiting and people, you know, children are dying. What's the other rock you're up against? You know, what pressure are you feeling that says, no, don't go?
Nan says, we can send you peanut butter, Tiffin Landon. Yes! Send us peanut butter.
Absolutely.
If you can find it, guys.
That's
Golly.
right. It's hard to find.
Petey, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. So I thought that was this. This crossed my path. I thought that I wanted to show this to you guys, but also I thought that this was weirder. The site of the Uvalde school shooting to be demolished. Is that, you know, June 22nd, the site of May's deadly school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, will be demolished. The city's mayor said. Mayor Don McLaughlin confirmed during a special city council meeting Tuesday that Robb Elementary School will be razed and replaced, but did not provide a timeline for that to happen. My understanding, and I had this discussion with the superintendent, that school will be demolished, McLaughlin said. You can never ask a child to go back or a teacher to go back in that school ever. Which I agree with that sentiment, but hold up. McLaughlin's isn't the first public official to call for the school's demolition. In early June, Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez tweeted, I am working with many private and public partners to ensure no child will ever have to return to Robb Elementary. We heal, we rebuild, and we never forget. Around the same time, Javier Cazares, who lost his daughter Jacqueline in the shooting, called for the school to be torn down. The kids and teachers, they shouldn't have to go back to the school. They're not going to want to go back to that school. I totally agree with that sentiment.
But at the same time, doesn't it a little bit feel like getting rid of evidence? Because not every school...
Well, don't just jump right to that, because I got a lot of...
I know, but I'm just saying, doesn't it feel a little bit like, you know, they don't tear down everything.
No, yeah, that's exactly how I'm like, whoa. Because
Right.
over here, you know, should Robb Elementary be rebuilt? Question mark. Here's what other school shooting sites did. See, right?
You can really see how small the school area is. Like, it's not a huge campus.
It's not. As funerals begin in Uvalde, Texas, a familiar debate has begun. What should be done with Robb Elementary School, the site of one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history? Calls to demolish and rebuild the school began soon after last week's massacre. Texas State Senate Rep. Roland Gutierrez, Democrat who represents Uvalde, says he has asked the federal government to provide funds to help rebuild in these times.
Right.
No offense, I'm just
Can I
saying.
read
I
this
totally
one?
agree with him. I don't think the school should stay up, but
Right.
goodness gracious, y'all want to build a school right now?
Right,
Ooh,
exactly.
how expensive that's gonna be.
I can't tell you how many little children that I've talked to that don't want to go back into that building. They're just traumatized. They're just destroyed, Gutierrez said over the weekend in an interview with local TV station KSAT. It needs to be torn down. I would never expect a child to have to walk through those doors ever again. That building needs to be gone. Taken away, gone, said Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin in another local TV interview. For others in the Uvalde community, Robb Elementary is a symbol of the rich history of the town's Mexican-American residents. The school dates to an era where Mexican-Americans were segregated from white residents who mostly lived in the city's east side and sent their children to school there. The children of the Mexican-American families attended Robb Elementary on the west side of the city. The community spent decades fighting to improve conditions at the school, said Ronald Garza, a one-time Robb student who now serves as a Uvalde County Commissioner, and whose father George was one of Robb Elementary's first Latino teachers. Garza told NPR he hopes Uvalde community can find a way to avoid a complete demolition. I get emotional thinking about that, he said. Similar debates have followed other school shootings around the country. Here's where that question stands in other places. So this is what I wanted to know. Marjorie Stone Douglas High School, 2018. I don't even remember this. After a school shooter killed 17 students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
That's the Parkland, Florida shooting.
Oh, okay. I always hear it as
you know
Parkland.
it by the Parkland.
Yeah. Okay. In February 2018, school officials closed the classroom building where the shooting took place. Students returned to class in August of that year, attending lessons in other buildings on the school's campus and dozens of portable classrooms. Classes now take place in a new building on campus that was constructed after the shooting and dedicated in October 2020. About $25 million in funding for its construction was provided by the Florida State Legislature. The new building is outfitted with safety features and spaces designed for reflection. WLRN reported. Its opening represented one more step in the Parkland community's healing process, said Lori Al-Hadif, who was elected to the school board after her daughter Alyssa was killed in the shooting. That's terrible. The old building remains on campus. It has been considered a crime scene and cannot be modified or torn down until after the shooter's trial ends. Though he pled guilty in 2021, his sentencing has been repeatedly delayed. It is currently scheduled for June. Oh, so that's happening this month, or has it already happened? We'll have to look into that.
We'll have to look into it. Sandy Hook Elementary School, 2012. The Sandy Hook Elementary opened in Newton, Connecticut in 2016, nearly 4 years after a shooter killed 20 students and 6 staff members in what remains the country's deadliest shooting at an elementary, middle, or high school. In the months following that shooting, residents of Newton called for a new school building to replace the old Sandy Hook. The old school was razed, which they're like I'm unfamiliar with RAZED,
Right.
meaning to erase or demolish. Okay, so after the town's residents voted overwhelmingly to do so, I wish I could look into that. It's where we bring up our kids. It's where our own family's story plays out. John Woodall, a local psychiatrist, told NPR in 2013. So to have this building be the site of this horror cuts right to the core of people's identities. They don't want to go back, and vehemently so. For some, it was just too overwhelming to go into that space again without becoming unhinged, Woodall said. You can't ask people to bear something that is, for them, unbearable. The new building opened in August 2016. The new school, with its colorful blinds, massive windows, and warm wood tones, was designed with safety features like bullet-resistant walls and windows. Right from the beginning, they said that they wanted it to be welcoming, said architect Barry Vigels. This is Vigels. When asked in a 2014 NPR interview how his firm approached designing the new school, a nurturing environment. Clearly, safety was part of it. How could it not? And yet, it was part of learning environment that would be delightful for the children, a place where they looked forward to coming and every day engaged in a joyful process of learning. And then there's the Virginia Tech University in 2007. I remember this. This was a dude with like a Glock at a college.
Right.
Or at a technical.
Yep.
When a gunman killed 32 people at Virginia Tech University in 2007, most of the shooting took place inside a 3-story academic building called Norris Hall. Afterward, some in the university community called for the building to be torn down, but others were determined to reclaim its legacy. Rather than be demolished, the wing of Norris Hall, where the shooting took place, was completely renovated and reopened in 2009.
So I suppose we don't have to do every single one Columbine pair of students. Scroll down, we can just kind of...
Okay.
We'll just... So, yeah, there was no precedent of renovation
Columbine.
or rebuilding. Yeah. The school remains to this day. The library where most of the shooting occurred was renovated in the years after the shooting. So, everybody just went back to life after that, even though, So, I suppose it was weird to me at first, the way I read it. Wow, they're demolishing it? That seems odd. But I guess if you think about it from the family and the children's point of view.
I understand that sentiment, so I'm not going to argue that. I'm just saying no one else did. It's kind of sketchy.
Right. Razed means completely destroy, like a building, town, or other site.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right.
Now.
The Fed chair debunks Biden claim that Putin's Ukraine invasion is biggest single driver of inflation. No. This is pretty good.
I realize there are a number of factors that play a role in the historic inflation that we're experiencing. Supply chain disruptions, regulations that constrain supply. We've got rising inflation expectations and excessive fiscal spending. But the problem hasn't sprung out of nowhere. And in January of 2021, inflation was at 1.4%. By December of 2021, it had risen to 7%, a five-fold increase. Now, since the war in Ukraine began in late February, the rate of inflation has risen incrementally, another 1.6%, to a current level of 8.6%. So again, from 7% to 8.6%. Given how inflation has escalated over the past 18 months, would you say that the war in Ukraine is the primary driver of inflation in America?
No, inflation was high before, certainly before the war in Ukraine broke out.
I'm glad to hear you say that. The Biden administration seems to be intent on deflecting blame, and as recently as just this past Sunday, spread the misinformation that Putin's invasion of Ukraine is the, quote, biggest single driver of inflation. I'm glad you agree with me that that is not the truth.
And just to put with that, U.S. could face more inflation surprises. Fed's Jerome Powell. The U.S. economy is strong but faces an uncertain global environment and could see further inflation surprises. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Wednesday. Okay, this dude right here. Okay, I don't know. Federal Reserve, hold up. In the first of 2 closely watched days of testimony to Congress, Powell again stressed that the Fed understands the hardship caused by rising prices and is committed to bringing down inflation, which has reached a 40-year high. The U.S. Central Bank last week announced the most aggressive interest rate increase in nearly 30 years and promised more action to come to combat the price surge, with gas and food costs soaring and millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet. I mean, so really, guys, this is because I don't think the Fed had very much to do with the lockdowns.
Right.
Necessarily. I'm not saying that they didn't have anything. I'm saying that that's one aspect of it, because that changed the industries. Okay, and they haven't not all of them have snapped back. And some have changed forever.
That's right.
And then the Federal Reserve didn't really have nothing to do with the truckers. Okay, and what's happening with truckers? If you haven't talked to truckers, apparently they're getting screwed by dispatchers, or it's a really hostile environment with a lot of new guys. Right. That a lot of people are quitting, especially after the whole reason why the truckers protested. A lot of dudes left. A lot of people are taking retirement. And I don't think the Federal Reserve had anything to do with that. And I'm not trying to say the Federal Reserve is good. What I'm saying is, after everything else, which I didn't even bring up much, like the shortages caused by the docks or whatever, goods and whatnot not coming in, now on top of all that, they're doing this.
That's right.
They've been printing money since 2020, and they're going to be an aggressive interest rate increase in nearly 30 years. They're choking out anybody that's got anything left. They want you to have nothing.
Oh, exactly.
Okay,
which is why
you'll own nothing and be happy.
Tiny houses. Tell me y'all haven't seen more campers on the road or parked in front of.
That's right.
Like, I feel like people are just waiting. Like, hey, if the bank comes knocking, I've got a place to go.
That's right. Northern Risen, what's up? Unspecified V, what's up?
Unspecified V.
What is up? Good to see you. Sister Fist.
Anyway, all right.
But as fears mount that the rapid tightening of financial conditions could go too far and tip the world's largest economy into recession, Powell insisted the U.S. economy is very strong and well positioned to handle tighter monetary policy. Oh my gosh.
Really? Wow.
You're out of touch.
That's right.
You're out of touch.
Some people, I guess, are so deep in it, they're like, please lie to me.
That's right.
Tell me
it's going to be okay. Inflation has obviously surprised to the upside over the past year, and further surprises could be in store. The Fed chief told the Senate Banking Committee in his semi-annual appearance, policymakers will need to be nimble given that the economy often evolves in unexpected ways, he said. Last week's supersized 75.75 percentage point increase in the benchmark lending rate was the third since March, taking the policy rate up to a total of 1.5 points. And Powell at the time said more such increases were likely in July. Okay, right here, there's your warning. That's like the chair of the Federal Reserve. The Fed is facing intense criticism that it was too slow to react to the changing economy, which benefited from a flood of federal government stimulus. Powell made no explicit mention of recession risks in his opening remarks, but was sure to be grilled about the prospect by senators. Essential to curb inflation, in addition to easing the financial strain on American families, especially those with fewer resources, the Fed chief said tamping down inflation was essential. If we are to have a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. The U.S. economy recovered quickly from the Wuhan Wiggle pandemic lockdown, helped by robust consumer spending. You remember after the Twin Towers, what did the president say to do? How do we beat the terrorists, he said? go to the mall,
Oh, that's
go
right.
see a
That's
movie,
right.
go buy something, go out and shop, go shopping. You know what I mean? So what's this dude saying? That we came back from the Wuhan Wiggle pandemic lockdown by robust consumer spending. Consume, obey, obey, consume, and has continued to create jobs at a strong pace, averaging 408,000 in the past 3 months. Unemployment is near a 50-year low. Make it federally illegal for people to go to work, and then say you created jobs when you let them go back to work.
Unemployment is a near 50-year low. I don't know if I buy that. I think I might.
Craig the Hunter,
disagree with
dude,
that.
he's here, babe. Craig the Hunter, dude, bro fist. It's good to see you live, man. It's good to see you. Holy cow. I would love to go hunting with you, bro, but I would also just love to hang out. I would say hang out and barbecue or crawfish boil, but these days,
That's right.
we can chip in together and, we'll get together. And
We've got a pig poker and everything.
we've got a pig poker,
My dad came down to visit, and he was like, What's that? What's that contraption you have? It looks like it was a knife at one point and someone duct taped it to a stick. And I was like, you mean the pig poker? And he said, it was a knife at one point. I said, no, that's called a spear. Like they used to think like
it's a
old
spear.
time. Yeah. And he was like, nah, that looked duct tape. And I showed it to him up close, and he was like, I didn't know they still made these.
Oh, yeah, they do. They do. But, dude, Craig, it's good to see you, brother. It's real good to see you, man.
Artificial Loneliness Lab, what is up? Oh, my goodness.
What's up, brother? Artificial Loneliness Lab, Cinnamon 1. What's up? Anyway, anywho, I was in this. I gotta read it.
Yeah.
I gotta read it. Okay, the fueled inflation. I gotta read it because they put things right out in the open.
They do.
You see what I mean? They just told you about July, so
Right.
watch out.
Right.
Okay, but the buoyant demand for homes, cars, and other goods clashed with transportation and supply chain snarls in parts of the world where the Wuhan Wiggle remained and remains a challenge. That fueled inflation, which got dramatically worse after Russia invaded Ukraine in late February and Western nations imposed stiff sanctions on Moscow, sending food and fuel prices up at a blistering rate.
Right.
Powell said the fallout from the conflict in Ukraine is creating additional upward pressure on inflation. In addition, Wuhan Wiggle related lockdowns in China are likely to exacerbate ongoing supply chain disruptions, but he noted that the issue is not unique to the United States. Over the past year, inflation also increased rapidly in many foreign economies, he said. In fact, many major central banks have joined the Fed in beginning to tighten
monetary policy.
That's right. With the notable exception of the Bank of Japan. Hold up. So China's got folks still in lockdown.
Right. I was just thinking that.
So they're
wow,
forcing
poor
them.
China.
They're like, because China could almost make literally everything and anything you can think of. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if they force everyone to lock down, and they even, I don't know if you guys know that was going on, but in China, these folks are getting locked down, okay, to the welded in your house again kind of thing. And, this is old news, but I believe those folks are still locked down, and they're forcing them to not be able to do the manufacturing that they were doing, and we're going to see that.
Right. That's exactly
And
right.
price changes here.
And then also, do you remember?
This is all by design. This is a global effort. That Craig the Hunter's character, he sings. He's got a wonderful voice. It's hilarious. I love that guy. You know that guy. That they don't want us to live in peace. You guys got to see it. Go check out Craig the Hunter.
But do you remember last year, I think it was, but like with China, okay, so, forever it's been China has one kid, right? And then they lifted that, and then they were like, reproduce. So it's really weird. It's really
very weird. Because, especially if you go to the Father and you ask for truth, He will give it to you.
That's
and
right.
He'll let you kind of see how they're molding things in a way. You start to get that dot connection.
Right,
Start
exactly.
connecting dots. Average home loan rates jumped to 5.23% in May for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage from 4.98% in April, according to Freddie Mac. while the median price for homes topped $400,000 for the first time, tightening in financial conditions that we have seen in recent months should continue to temper growth and help bring demand into better balance with supply. In other words, you're going to stop wanting stuff, and that's going to help supply. Okay? All right? It's going to really help us out. Yeah. So, let's see. J.P. Morgan reportedly laying off hundreds in mortgage business. We were just talking about that.
Right. We don't have to read the whole thing.
I just wanted to throw it on your
seeing,
radar.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just J.P. Morgan. We're seeing a lot of layoffs.
A lot of layoffs.
So it was all this now hiring.
How many chicken farming facilities have been burned down?
Oh, yeah.
Are we at
77, I believe?
Over the last year, we're at 100 food processing facilities that have burned down?
Something like that, yeah.
So, like, if you worked at one of those, you could pretty much tell your buddy, hey, watch out, man. Those seem to have real bad luck.
And then, so everything was now hiring, and then nobody wanted to work. Well, now it's, of course, going to shift to where they've had to move to robots or animatronics or go out of business.
That's all a part of the plan.
Exactly.
That's all a part
of it. And now, when everybody is out of money and out of options, they'll be begging for work, and there will be no work. And what will we have? Universal basic income, UBI, then?
Oh, yeah. Alaska already has it. Plenty of places already have UBI, universal basic income. What do they call it? A dividend. In Alaska, you get a dividend if you've lived there for up to 6 months and held a mail address.
Right.
They help you out for living there because back when I went there, and I think 2009, I lived in Alaska, a gallon of milk was $13. A pack of cigarettes was $7. Okay? So, like, the price of living there was already on a different level. You see what I mean?
Right. Oh, well, thank you, Craig. That's so sweet of you.
Oh, my gosh, Craig. Thank you, brother. Bro fist, dude. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's...
All right, and we just said U.S. home prices, which you guys know, break $400,000 for the first time ever. But sales slumped to a 2-year low as soaring interest rates squeeze out first-time buyers. J.P. Morgan lays off hundreds of workers in its mortgage division. Okay, median home prices. So you guys know. You see, I'm just putting it out on your radar.
So almost $500,000 for a median home. That is insane. I remember as a kid, I would have dreamed to be in a home that was $500,000. You would have been doing it. You would have been really in something nice. But
WA456, bro, what's up? Good to see you. All right. I just wanted to go over this real quick. Not that we have to. New York City approves biggest rent hike in a decade. Panel says landlords can charge extra 5% for around 1 million rent-regulated apartments despite tenants already crippled by cost of living crisis.
Which, again, another thing that we can read the bulletin points, but the point is that everything is going up. So rent is going up. We've got natural disasters. There are insurance companies. My sister-in-law, Landon's sister, her house was destroyed in Hurricane Ida, and she has been living with her daughter. She's been living in a trailer camper for almost a year now, and her house is not. And she's going to be like $8,000 to $15,000 short to finish her house because the insurance company is going bankrupt, and so they're not going to pay her out the rest. She's only like 85% done. And so just point being, like, you've got things like rent going up, natural disasters, people not getting paid, there's not enough food, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Like, it's every angle.
Nan, I love this comment. She says, take the mark and you can be housed. We got to make mutual assistance groups.
That's right.
Where we help each other out. That's our right as Americans. Okay, to come together as a community and help each other, especially in times like this. And beans, bullets, band-aids, a little piece of property, chickens, goats,
Kelly,
we need to be as self-sufficient as possible.
Right, that's right.
Is the dream.
We're not going to be anywhere near as self-sufficient as I want
With
to
the
be.
Lord, though, we can do all
amen,
things in Christ.
Amen.
Kelly, oh my gosh, Kelly, hold on. Let me see something here. James Floyd, what is up? So sorry.
No. You're good.
All right, so I want to listen to this. Or maybe I don't.
The cries of angry tenants drowning out the voices of the rent guidelines board members during its heated meeting to decide rent increases. Both tenant members of the board expressed outrage.
People who think that investors deserve more respect and basic human needs.
But despite the
Can't hear you because of the mask.
protests, the board voted to allow landlords to increase rent for rent-stabilized apartments by 3.25% for one-year leases and 5% for two-year leases.
The motion fails by a vote of...
Before the meeting, tenants rallied against the hike, arguing that inflation, pandemic hardships, and the current housing market make paying more nearly impossible and put them at risk of becoming homeless.
If the rent increases, I may not be able to pay my college tuition, and I will have to be able to go to a different college just so I can support my family.
What it means is I have to start making sure that I don't eat as much as I do.
But small landlords say they're struggling too.
The increases in our real estate taxes are increases in insurance, increases in water, increases in our utilities. Everything has gone up.
The Rent Stabilization Association, which represents landlords, says most rent-stabilized apartments are mom and pop owned properties passed down through generations, and that both landlords and tenants need help.
There needs to be more to address the problems of tenants and property owners. Frankly, nobody was ever going to be happy with the results of this board.
And Mayor Eric Adams called the decision tonight disappointing, saying in a statement, quote, "The system is broken and we cannot pit landlords against tenants as winners and losers every year."
Okay, that redhead, the woman who says what it means is I've got to learn to not eat as much. I want to hug her, and I want to cook for her, and I just want to pray for her. She was breaking my heart.
Cinnamon One says a food packaging plant burned down in Birmingham, Alabama on 6/13 and only made local news. That's a good point. Dragon Slayer says, well, I am supply chain consultant. I can tell you we have some fun times coming. China reduced their export of silicone by 90% last year, going to have wide impacts. Holy crap. Craig the Hunter says, MAG will get you through. Mutual Assistance Group.
Well, that's right.
That's right.
And if that doesn't work, then the other man, no, I'm just kidding. I kid.
Unspecified V says, I feel like a family reunion. I do too.
I know every time like a new name pops up, I'm like, oh my gosh.
What's up?
How have you been? Let's take a minute and catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to do just a chat. I like what Craig does with the panel, and I want to just set aside a show maybe once a week where we do a panel. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. That would be really cool.
Or maybe not once a week. I don't know. Major Second Amendment case awaiting Supreme Court decision. The court is expected to soon rule on New York's concealed carry law. Okay. Let me see if we got anything. Thought it had a video. Do you?
No.
It looks like it has video.
In the wake of two mass shootings, lawmakers in New York and California are pushing for...
New York and California. Hold on, folks. Get a hold of your heartstrings because they're reaching.
Right.
They're reaching for the heartstrings here, folks. Okay?
Tighter gun laws.
I'm sorry, what was that?
In the wake of two mass shootings, lawmakers in New York and California are pushing for tighter gun laws. In New York, Governor Kathy Hochul and state Democrats have introduced 10 bills in the state assembly and Senate. The bills would tighten gun laws, close loopholes, and address gaps exposed in the deadly bubble.
They're not going to do squat.
I don't understand what people don't understand.
That adding another law isn't going to do anything.
Right. If someone is willing to be a criminal,
they're going to find a way around your rules.
Or kill you or whatever they're intending to do to break the law with their weapon, then they are willing to break the law to obtain their weapon. Ergo, all these laws are doing is disarming people who could defend themselves. I don't understand what people don't understand. It makes my head hurt.
So, actually, Dragon Slayer made a correction. He said that China reduced their export of silicon by 90% last year. It's going to have widespread impacts. Okay. Cinnamon One, this freaks me out, says silicone caulk is now $10 a tube. And I need that for all kinds of projects. There's so many things you can do with silicone.
It's a good thing you've been saving those little packs for like 8 years.
Or maybe am I saying it wrong or what? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. StreamYard will give you 20 hours free a month with 6-person panel. Thank you, Craig. Thank you.
Right.
We have got to hang out. And it never makes them wonder how they can write 10 bills that fast. All it does is make more people into criminals. Exactly. Yes. You guys get it. You're my people. Okay? Now, this is a bit of a doom break. I just thought it was weird. America's healthiest community. Again, America's healthiest community, Los Alamos, confronts the fatigue of the Wuhan Wiggle fatigue. The county, #1 in U.S. News healthiest communities rankings for the 3rd time in a row, showed its resilience during multiple rounds of the Wuhan Wiggle. But officials are left wondering what the new normal will be. Look around, folks.
That's right.
Crap rolls downhill.
Good for them.
And it's rolling, folks.
That's
Okay?
right, that's
It's
right.
rolling.
All right, next one. I don't want to hear about.
Yeah,
how
I don't want to hear about how healthy your county is,
Lena
man.
just had a heat stroke last week. Like, leave me alone with all your health. Blah.
I'm healthy.
My elbow hurts.
Hotel violence. Playa del Carmen deaths. Okay, so a Canadian couple was killed in a Mexican beach resort.
That's right.
Okay, I'm not sure what this is connected to,
Well,
but
for me,
we
on.
tried reading into this to see if there was anything here, but then Tiff pointed out.
Go scroll down. Like, don't care about the. I'm not saying don't care.
Right here, this is where they're hiding the truth, out in plain sight, but way down at the bottom of the article.
Right.
Spring breakers, be warned.
Right.
Okay. This comes as spring breakers have been warned against traveling. Have you been warned? Where's this official warning? Right. No one's been warned. Here it is. Okay. Have been warned against traveling to Mexico's popular Caribbean beach resorts over fears they could be killed in the crossfire of a raging drug cartel turf war. Who has been warned? Everybody likes these Caribbean beach resorts, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, I don't frequent them too often, but that was my senior trip way back in the Disney. Way back. I went to a Caribbean Mexican resort. I don't even know if I went to I went on a cruise.
Just interesting, so travel now again, which.
So watch out going to Mexico.
Yeah.
Juarez may not be the place to be is.
That's right.
You know? I saw this right here. For those in the know, those of you who know, I just thought this was interesting. Jesuit priests killed two, or more than one, killed by gunmen in church in northern Mexico. Again, okay? So
now that might have deeper ties, like spiritual ties. Because look, have you heard the Jesuit oath?
Yes, I have.
It's
do
gnarly.
we need to get into it? Because
No,
if you
we
want
don't
to get your YouTube stream cut,
right,
that's a
right.
great way.
That's right.
To get your stream cut.
That's right.
Let's see.
I've been to Tijuana.
Two elderly Jesuit priests were killed inside a church where a man pursued by gunmen apparently sought refuge in a remote mountains area of northern Mexico. The religious order's Mexican branch announced Tuesday Javier Campos Morales, 79, and
Joaquin
Cesar Mora Salazar, 80, were slain Monday inside the church in Cerro
Cahuy in Chihuahua State.
Is that Chihuahua?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I have a Chihuahua.
We do. This is where they hail from.
This is where they
I like to think, okay, there's this movie that had Chihuahuas. Anyway,
Listen, they were apparently killed after a man fleeing a drug gang took refuge in the church, authorities said. The gang apparently pursued and caught him and killed all three.
Oh.
So, sad story. So.
Well, now I feel bad for saying my story.
A statement from the Roman Catholic Society of Jesus in Mexico demanded justice and the return of the men's bodies. It said gunmen had taken both of their bodies from the church. Yeah, because the cartel does all kind of wacky, like they hang folks up and they
Isn't
do all
that a
kinds of
little
like
effigy-ish?
they do effigies and stuff like it's
Crazy.
they like skin folks and they do all kinds of weird.
No, thank you. Anyway, I think that there's this movie. Anyway, so when I see Chihuahua, Mexico, I think of a mountain of chihuahuas. That's all I wanted to say. Wouldn't that be great? A mountain of chihuahuas.
Can a future fleet of robotic fish clean up the ocean? What do you guys think? Has anyone seen Terminator Genesis? That part when they're running away from the deep underground bunker and the dude who's like half human or he's like a Terminator with a human heart, he like dives into the water and there's all these fish with red eyes. Look, I'm sorry y'all haven't seen this, okay? But one thing you don't want is mechanical fish that eat stuff in the water, okay?
No,
hold on.
for sure not.
Terminator.
You know, didn't what's his name? Kevin Costner. Him and his brother were working on something a few decades back that was like
Thank you for
sort
clearing.
of a...
Thank you for the segue. Kevin Costner, what?
And his brother were working on some sort of like ocean cleaner up or skimmer thing a few decades back, a couple decades ago. And anyway, I've been waiting this whole time. I guess time goes by a little slow. I have been waiting for like 20 years, but I was really sure that him and his brother were going to find this, come up with this ocean cleaner thing. Oh,
I actually saw a new thing.
Now that I think about it, you can't get a hose that long.
I've almost got it, folks. I've almost got it.
I don't know. I think you could think up a couple bypasses for the skimmer idea. It's not bad. Oh, do you think whales eat the skimmer? I don't know.
All right, I know that this is impromptu and it's not perfect here, but this was the thing, okay? Hydrobot coil attack mode. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but this was in the movie. It was in the water, and
Terrible.
it likes, and this is kind of the same idea.
Terrible.
Okay, microplastics are a menace. See, they want us to start hating stuff. Another thing that you can't really see. It's no good. I'm not saying microplastics are good, but I'm just saying, as a species, what can we really do about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go to a higher power eventually, guys. We can't solve everything. You know what I mean? What are we going to do about microplastics? Come on, we're going to make... These aren't going to become a problem.
Maybe, though.
Maybe robotic fish are a menace, and you don't know it yet because you haven't found out
But
yet.
what if they're helpful? What if you made them to where they not only ate plastics and all your trash in your ocean, but they could also, like, seek out humans. That way, if there was a human in the ocean, like, fallen overboard, they could come and find you.
They'll always follow every boat.
No.
They've been found everywhere from the top of Mount Everest, not robot fish yet, but microplastics. Okay, they've been found at the top of Mount Everest to melted Antarctic snow. Microplastics have even been found circulating in human blood. Prove it. But perhaps the place where they are having the worst impact is in Earth's oceans. Plastics in the single most common debris in the sea. Okay, often breaking down over time. I'm not going to read all the how bad, let's see. In a study, where do we get into where this is going to be a thing?
Proof of concept robot is demonstrated to emphasize its maximum swimming speed of 2.67 body length per second, whose speed is comparable to that of plankton, the study authors wrote, adding that the speed outperforms similar soft robots. The fishbot is made of a composite material that is safe for marine environments and physically reacts when a near-infrared light laser is pointed at it.
It better not be made of no plastic.
Blinking the laser on and off can cause the robot's tail to flap back and forth, allowing it to mimic a real fish and swim. As it moves, microplastic material sticks to its body, much like the suckerfish do to whales and sharks. On top of that, the material the Sichuan University researchers used can repair itself when cut, which means it's effectively self-healing.
That's another robot movie I know. Have you ever seen Screamers?
Oh yeah, okay, that's terrible. But remember, they were we just read that article about how they just basically made skin, organic skin,
that's
sort
right.
of, for
that
robots.
Can heal. That's right.
But now they have stuff that's healing. Anyway, it's just interesting. There might be robot fish one day.
That's right. That's right.
Look forward to it.
Y'all have to forgive me.
You thought Jaws was your concern.
If you thought we were done with the tinfoil stuff, I mean, Chinese researchers build mind-reading device that detects when men watch prawn.
That's right. Great movie plot. Unspecified. They are trying to make horror movies sci-fi real. That
true.
is very true. Like seriously, these news articles are better than movies. I could come up with a crazy story for every single one of them.
Chinese researchers have reportedly developed a device that can detect when a man is watching pornography.
Okay, who cares, right? But the point is...
By reading his mind.
So
get your tinfoil now.
pornography is illegal in China, and so they are using it to detect when people are doing something illegal. So imagine if your computer snitched you out every time you were looking at something you're not supposed to be looking at. That's the point I was thinking.
Independent Mini, what is up? What is up?
Oh.
The new device, as reported by the South China Morning Post, would benefit Chinese internet censors by detecting the brain waves triggered by lewd content. Pornography is illegal in China. The prototype device was made for bad information detection.
This feels
This
very
is everything you
Minority
just said.
Report.
This is everything you just said this.
Yeah.
Said Zhu Jianjun, director of the Electrical Engineering Experiment Center at Beijing Jiaotong University, who published the work in Journal of Electric Measurement and Instrumentation. It was tested on 15 male university students who would wear the device while sat in front of a computer screen when an alarm going off when explicit imagery was detected by the brain. The developers say the new device can automatically adapt to the brain waves of a human sensor, able to filter out other signals that would come from emotions or wariness. So they can avoid your being worried about being watched.
They can they can distinguish between if you are tired or anxious or horny, evidently.
Pornography when you really like shrimps. Hey, okay, it doesn't have to be like that, but there could have been some Playboys back in the day. Okay, shrimp cocktail.
Venus on a half shell.
No, on a bear rug, or in front of a fire.
Now I'm just picturing shrimp on a bear rug. Anyway.
Okay.
We're not insensitive. Also, Craig said that robotic turtles would be a better idea because there's a storage tank, and I think that's brilliant.
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant dude, Craig. Absolutely. Independent Mini, thank you so much for sharing that link. Y'all, that is Craig DeHunter's channel. Please,
That's
I
right.
suggest go check him out. That is a local... You heard the story the other night. If you didn't, I suggest you go watch the other podcast we did at the beginning of the week where Tiffany
Broke my elbow. You can't
broke
see
her
it.
elbow.
But look, that's my screw. You see it there, the little pointy thing?
That. Oh, my Lord. Oof.
Malanta.
Anyway, Tiff broke her elbow, and her doctor or surgeon sent her to a physical therapy. I don't know all the fancy words. You tell the story.
I called it a physical terrorist, but nope, she was really nice. Anyway, and so we were talking one day and just chit-chatting and this and that, and we were talking about what my husband does. Man, I hate that question. Don't you hate that question? And I said, well, we've got a little YouTube channel, no big deal, and she said, what is it? And I said, Unspecified Podcast, and I was all like shamed because like she was looking at me kind of weird. And I was thinking, that is a weird name now that you look at me kind of weird while I'm saying it. And anyway, she's like, I think we've heard of you. And then I'm like, no way. But she had told me her husband had one too. And his was Craig the Hunter. And I was like, I swear we've heard. But I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth, which I always do. And so lo and behold, that was it. Which is so crazy because what are the chances? And like they had anyway. They had just, talked.
That was divine,
that
in
was
my
super
opinion.
Duper divine.
In my opinion, because it just so happens to turn out Craig is local to us. So, he lives
right.
not far, right around the way.
She does heal. That's right. She does heal.
That is true. That is true.
Look, let me tell you. She put me in that machine with the hot sawdust.
The bubbly.
The hot sawdust machine. I loved it.
But look, we can't forget about the prawn.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's just concerning that they are able to. So, like, your computer is looking back at you. What's that saying? If you look long enough into the abyss, eventually it'll look back. And that's like what our black mirrors are doing now. They're looking back.
That's what these little things are, man. These little black scrying type thing. Whoa. Anyway, you ever wonder what's that blinking light? What's that blinking light?
What blinking light?
You gotta wait. Maybe it'll pick it up. You see it right now?
No.
I'm gonna show you guys. It's watching you. It's detecting right here.
What the absolute what?
It's trying to look at you. Right? It's detecting your face.
I have never in all my days seen that.
Yeah. It's like right there.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho, they know that I'm trying to show you, so they're like, hide it.
That's
Chinese authorities employ professional sensors called Zhanhuangxi
That was good job.
prawn appraisers to check social media for what they deem inappropriate content. Usually, artificial intelligence. Well, let me go ahead and switch you guys back. Artificial intelligence can be used to detect explicit pictures and videos, but sometimes the algorithm makes errors. Human brains can still detect pornographic content more quickly and with greater accuracy. Many of these appraisers are women, but since the test was only ran on men, researchers believe there could be differences between genders. The accuracy of the machine is reportedly 80%.
Well, anyway, that sounds like the precursor to Minority Report.
Yes, Dragon, going to bring Landman. where device then will chip you in order to buy or sell. Or, Nan, if you haven't heard, you got to check it out. Google's CEO, I forget her name, or one of the previous CEOs, did a TED Talk talking about how blocky technology is and how they're working on making it more fluid. Like humans are soft and technology is hard.
Right.
And they want to merge those two. So what they've been working on is a technological ink.
Right.
Boom. There's your mark. That's your mark.
That's right.
Okay. An electronic tattoo.
You know what we haven't heard of in the news lately since it came back on is CERN. Wonder what they're up to. Wonder how their day's going.
That's right. We need to do a dive
How's their
into
day
CERN.
going?
And I was wanting to plan a panel show where we
Right.
do where we can offer up a panel and then a spooky chits.
That's right. Hey, also, does anybody feel weird? So, like, there's 5 planets lined up right now.
And a moon.
And also the summer solstice. I don't know. Weird stuff. It's all weird. It's all weird, guys. Don't worry about it. Peanut butter and jelly, eh?
Yeah, man. You got to stock up peanut butter.
That's right. Hey, you know what I just came around to liking? God bless. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Tuna.
Tuna's good.
I didn't like tuna, and now I just started, and I'm so thankful because it's in cans, eh?
All right. This is another one. Afghanistan. So this is I don't remember exactly where it is, but it's when Jesus is talking about, like, you know, it's one of the prophecies is many earthquakes in various places. Okay. So, but you know, even if you don't want to look at this with spiritual eyes, this is in the news on AP, and I just thought that's one thing, you know, with them reporting a quake killing 1,000 people, deadliest in decades. Okay. So this is
that poor man.
Yeah, in Afghanistan. I don't remember how severe it was. This man and all his goats. Like, look at this. Craig, he can sympathize. This would be devastating if you had, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goats, 7 goats, all, you know, killed. An Afghan villager collects his belongings from under the rubble of his home that was destroyed in an earthquake in the Spara district of the southwestern part of Khost province, Afghanistan. Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022, a powerful earthquake struck a rugged mountain region of eastern Afghanistan early Wednesday, killing at least 1,000 people and injuring 1,500 more in one of the country's deadliest quakes in decades, the state-run news agency reported.
Which they said that prepared that number, the 1,000
to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Fan through.
Sorry, I think that I think that's a gun strap. I don't know. I don't want to. Toyota 22R. I think that's a Hilux. They got the Hilux, but it won't be destroyed. It should still run.
That poor man there.
Those boys.
Yeah.
Ding ding. There you go. AK.
Jeez Louise.
There's probably another one there. That's awesome. That's not awesome. In this photo released by a state-run news agency, Bakhtar Afghans evacuate wounded in an earthquake in the province of Paktika, eastern Afghanistan, Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. These guys are doing what they can. It's so not weird, but kind of cool. These guys are wearing like old world clothes, but they're all wearing tennis shoes.
Right.
So like they have on these like, they look like clothes of the past or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just their culture. I think it's cool.
No, just said that.
Just said that we're with it that way.
Look, that is terrible, and I'm not trying to throw no shade, but I will say this, that in Russian news and Russian state news media, a lot of their coverage is like the Russian soldiers are helping people and they're very they're very helpful. I just want to point out, I can't say for sure who owns this aircraft, but like for sure that's a Soviet era Russian helicopter. So I don't know, you might want to check like Russian news media. They might be saying that they helped these folks in Afghanistan.
Right, so it was a major test for the Taliban-led government.
داسې یو پیښه چې په کوم ملک کې راځي نو طبعا دا اصول دي چې نورو ملکو ته ضرورت پیدا کیږي داسې پیښو ته رسیدګي ډیره ګرانه وي چې یو ملک په خپله وتوانېږي چې یو دغسې پیښو ته رسیدګي وکړي او په هغه معنا باندې چې کوم د خلکو ورته کفایت کیږي هغه دې وکړي. نو د ټول نړیوال سمه غوښتنه دا ده چې په دغسې وختو کې باید لاس په کار سي او خپل همکاري ته دوام ورکړي.
Well, if you want to know how the Taliban becomes a part of the international community, it's with stuff like this. I mean, I feel terrible for these folks. That's awful. I'm just saying, look at that from that perspective, right. Where, like the Abrahamic houses in the future, I don't know, man. Anywho, let's change
Michael,
gears.
we definitely see that.
I've got some of these. Single shot vaccine for COVID, for Wuhan wiggle, and influenza one step closer for Australians. Wait, what?
Kelly, maybe we could buy some of our weapons back. Give them some money for that. Boom.
That's a great one.
Mic drop. That's the comment of the night. Ding, 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 ding.
Comment of the night. That was great. This man is so anxious about the climate. He wants medically assisted. What? I think you're taking it all on, man. It's too much. You gotta let go. Getting rid of you won't change the climate.
Right, but then the tidal wave can't take you, or he's freaked out. Something big is coming, a big storm of some type, and he's like, courage, cowardly dog. You can't take it anymore.
Navy spells out new transgender policies. Oh boy. Forever chemicals on household items. Women are marrying themselves in the wake of the pandemic. Insider.
Sologamy.
Sologamy. Oh my gosh.
Self-marriage isn't a binding legal affair. You don't get a tax break. You're free to marry someone else in the future. It's just your way of dressing up really pretty and telling everyone that you don't need anyone else and F off.
That is La La Land.
Sometimes you just want to look real pretty, you know?
I get it.
Wait.
I was loveless before I married a ragdoll, and now we have a baby. Okay, we have entered the point of no return. Is that what NPR stands for?
Wait, no.
Yeah, man, we're in a weird, wacky times, man.
Well, hey, consider ourselves lucky, okay? At least it's an actual rag doll. I mean, essentially, she could have brought out.
Yeah, I saw a story about a chick who
she could have brought out a tampon and called it her baby.
Who was attracted.
That's a good joke. And as soon as you stop thinking about what you're saying and listen to it, you're gonna laugh.
I'm sorry.
She could have. I said we should consider ourselves lucky that it's a rag doll, because she could have pulled out a tampon and called it a baby.
No.
Because it's cotton.
That's not a good joke.
It's a good joke. It's funny, a little bit funny.
Oh, man.
Okay, we'll go back to what you were saying then.
There was also a story about a lady who was very interested in a 747, so much so that she had a scale, had one made.
That she could sleep with.
Oh boy, things have gotten odd. Me. Poof. Yeah, man. Oh, man. That was terrible.
Rituals, idol worship, constructing a cloth golem. Yeah, did she put a demon in it too? Hey, that's very good points, Muko.
Dude, brofist. Only thing we didn't leave, helicopters.
That's right. Anyone identifying as a doorknob yet?
Anyone identifying us?
I mean, the president's been very clear in making sure that he does everything that he can to alleviate the pain that American families are feeling when it comes to gas prices.
But I want you to look in my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, and I'm not going to stop.
He does everything that he can to elevate.
Yeah, you can say that again.
You are tearing me apart!
To elevate.
You see what I'm saying?
Elevate gas prices.
You see what I'm saying?
Doing everything in my power.
All right.
You know, that's a happy smile.
This is the New Zealand Prime Minister.
Technology experts are ringing alarm bells as facial recognition becomes more commonplace. Several major retailers in Australia, including Kmart and Bunnings, are using artificial technology in a bid to prevent shoplifting. Foodstuffs is using the technology in some North Island stores and has plans to roll it out in the South Island as a crime prevention measure. Gorilla Technologies' Paul Spain says if they're storing images of people, it needs to be done in a secure way.
That would certainly be a concern. And I would want to know if my local supermarket or store is storing imagery of me. I wouldn't be too comfortable about that.
No one cares.
Prime Minister,
No one cares.
Prime Minister, a moment of sympathy from you? No.
Deserved Prime Minister.
She's cramped up.
Coming to a town near you. You know what I'm saying?
I already see it in Walmart.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, they put those TVs up so that you can watch yourself, like, every 4 registers. They've got a TV to be like, here's what you look like checking out. But really, it's just, you know, hey, we're watching you.
That's right. Dragon Slayer says, an in-law is a phlebotomist in Australia, said there is a huge influx of blood draws for testing due to the jab-induced neurological issues. Whoa. Craig the Hunter, new stuffed tampon babies.
Terrible. I'm sorry I made that joke. Now I feel tacky.
I told you.
I know. I feel, in the moment it felt really funny.
He has not been clear.
But now in retrospect, I'm like, you know what? I crossed the line. It was too far. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know. Kelly's like, Kmart? No, but in Australia and like New Zealand, Kmart is still booming. That's like their Walmart.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Does anybody remember Pomida?
Pomida. Sounds so familiar. All right, let's watch this one.
No.
Mom face plants and moons the crowd at school sports day.
Oh my. Oh, look at the other mom right there. She's like,
Oh.
no. Oh no. You don't wear those underwear to a kid. Vince.
She's got to go home for the day.
Oh my gosh, she has to walk somewhere after that. Like, she can't just die on that field right there. That's not an option for her. She has to, like, get up and go somewhere. Because that would be, I would be like, please, just, I'm gonna lay here now. If you guys could trample me or something, I don't know. Don't make me look up anymore.
Next for Clown World. We just found out we're siblings, but we're still dating? What? Us happy in our 2-year relationship. Finding out we might be half sisters? Oh man, that's pretty easy to see and gross. Not cool. They're trying to normalize stuff.
Gross.
7-Eleven. Fuel technology synergy.
Oh my gosh.
They have
Mind
made
blown.
both diesel and regular gas cost the same amount.
It's 7-Eleven at the 7-Eleven.
I know, but it's synergy because it's also, it's like 3 trifecta synergy.
It's because all those planets aligned, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh, Independent Mini, thank you so much for dropping Dragon Slayer's link. Guys, please go check out Dragon Slayer. I'm telling you.
They will not jab kids under 5. They said that testing on the jab on 3 kids is not the definition of it. Hey, way to go, Publix.
That poor man. Yep. At least they can't reproduce. Oh, that's a good one, Cinnamon One. Oh, man. Stealth Omicron variant was just overtaken in the U.S. by a new subvariant that evades immunity.
Imagine
Man, they got some.
so
watch
bad.
out, you guys. There's some sneaky ass viruses out there. Sneaky. You can't see them, man.
That's right. It's like those clear scorpions in the desert.
Dodging, moving.
Watch out. Imagine a sickness so bad you don't even know you have it.
I told you, sneaky man. Okay, it don't matter. Sitting, standing. Okay, walking. Okay, it don't matter. Nothing to see here. Just a comedian having to provide a written statement to explain a joke to the police because an audience member complained.
Huh.
Yeah, apparently. Gyms need to make non-binary people feel safe.
I was laughing at Cinnamon One. No one in Alabama even remembers COVID. That's hilarious.
We didn't even really do much for it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody got kind of fat for a while, but it seems to be working itself out.
Everybody found a new job.
Amber Heard used to be really hot, and then COVID hit. That's all I know.
Working out is a minefield when you're non-binary. The gym sucks for everyone, but it's worse when strangers police your gender. Anyway. British Airways crew is put in isolation over monkeypox fears after one tests positive for the infection. Glastonbury. 3 grim diseases you can catch from festival toilets thanks to flying poo.
Flying poo. Well, evidently polio is one of them. I'm
Boy,
gonna need some more info.
Sneaky viruses.
Flying
Airborne poo. Guys, they're telling you that it is hitting the fan. In a jokey way, it has hit the fan. This is a reverse way of telling you.
How's the poo flying if it didn't hit the fan? You know?
How's the poo flying if it didn't hit the fan? That's a great one. Michael says they will find a way. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Is anybody else laughing, or are we just making fools of
It could just be us. Hey, it could just be us.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
The monkeys in the toilets? Has to be flying.
Oh man.
Never admit to monkeypox knowing it's.
Did they just admit this about lockdowns?
I
New
think
Zealand.
what we're trying to get across here is that a very restrictive measure, when elimination isn't possible, is not sustainable, and that's what puts us more in the frame of the CPF, of the COVID protection framework, traffic light framework type actions.
So you're saying that lockdowns just really wouldn't be used in many scenarios? Is that what you're saying?
It's because they can't be used to eliminate a more transmissible variant. Yeah.
Does that mean that in hindsight, the very stringent lockdown approach applied to the Delta variant was perhaps not the right one, and we should have used an approach more akin to that?
I just like to encourage everybody to watch the hand reader. Not because anything's wrong, just they give really great facial expressions, and I feel like it deserves attention. Go ahead.
That's a great facial expression.
It's one of them.
Look, we came very close to eliminating Delta over the summer in combination with vaccination. Yeah, so I think that was a very finely balanced decision there.
Yeah, very close is very different to actually.
But by the time
arm in your nose.
By the time that became an issue, Omicron was also on the horizon, and then the next threat.
It's just said that cost us billions of dollars. The Delta lockdown cost the country billions of dollars and was unnecessary.
Yeah, and Delta was a extremely clinically severe variant compared to what we currently have, and the population was largely unvaccinated at the time it broke out. So that lockdown was absolutely necessary.
Just to endorse that, and we were down to a handful of cases every day that were Delta at the time that Omicron came along.
Well, this is going splendidly, isn't it?
Facial expressions.
Koi fish, go.
Pufferfish, go. All right, Craig, have a good night, brother. Hey, thanks for hanging out, man. Good seeing you. Very good seeing you. You ready for this? Lori Lightfoot.
The most patriotic thing that you can do as an American is to vote.
Amid signs of a lackluster
Honestly, I think the most American thing you can do is to be on a homestead with a bunch of chickens and whatever weapons you choose to defend your property with. That's like one of the most American things you can do is have a family, teach them right.
That's right.
Teach them how to work. The value of whatever dollar is for you at the time, I guess. Because now, what's the point of teaching anyone a value of a dollar when it ain't worth nothing?
Right.
Yeah, so you see things slipping off the, you know.
voter turnout. Mayor Lightfoot and her wife, Amy Eshelman, cast their ballots today, and they were among the few voters statewide to vote early.
The in-person early voting seems to be lower, a lot lower than what I would have expected. I would have expected it on this day to be maybe double what it is now.
Row after row of empty voting booths today at the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners' early voting super site in the Loop reflect a nearly 60% decline in in-person early voting in the city.
You gonna eat this?
Make 3 out of 1. Roll them like Play-Doh.
Chef Leo Gastrain and his daughter Lila love to cook cheeseburgers together at home.
Oh, that looks fantastic. Can I put some of those wrap-ons through?
He's the son of a butcher in Austria.
I grew up with meat galore, obviously. It was on the plate every day.
But this burger has no beef at all.
It's actually not meat. It's plant-based protein. But for me as a chef, it's absolutely crucial to see it in front of me and actually got that colour. And when you see it, it actually bleeds because there's beetroot juice inside.
Gross.
It's not just the burger that's different.
Synthetic cheese. So it's actually not cheese. But it melts like cheese, it looks like cheese. And again, for me as a chef, it's important when it looks like it, then automatically your brain thinks you're having it.
For some, this is what the future of food will be.
I think that we can reimagine food completely, so they don't need to look like anything that you've ever eaten before. So I really want to encourage you to use your creativity in thinking about that.
Nah. What are they thinking? Fat, blood, muscle. A 3D printer for food. That's fat, blood, and muscle? What? That stuff will wreck your insides, no doubt. The machine's not even good at it. It's making a mess.
My goodness, this is unreal.
The process sees proteins taken from plants. Look at this, and then they smush it. They smush it with a press.
Oh
no,
gosh.
Absolutely not. I will not be eating that. They smush it with
the word reimagine, right?
Thank you.
What's
It's
up,
solvent.
Robert?
Solvent green. Yes, that's exactly right. I hate the word reimagine. Robert, what's up, dude? My Jesus show. They put up her normal picture up the. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! But your body will need a botfish to swallow every 2 weeks. Clean up the plastic.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
It's like
Way
Play-Doh
too
food.
much frosting.
Nope.
It is Play-Doh food.
Where's the beef?
That is. Joe Bakewell.
Joe Bakewell, what is up, man? Good to see you. Today, to suspend gas taxes. Biden calls on Congress. I understand that a gas tax holiday alone won't fix the pain Americans are feeling at the pump, but it will provide families some immediate relief, what my dad would call just a little bit of breathing room. Get the... Seriously.
I mean, it's better than nothing, but no.
It is better than nothing. I am thankful. Not to him, but to the Father.
Right, that's right.
If the federal gas tax was suspended for the rest of the summer, someone who drives 12,000 miles a year in a car that averages 22.8 miles per gallon would only save about $20, wrote J.P. Morgan strategist Natasha Kaneva.
Bruh. I got you $1.
Oh, you almost had it. You're going to be quicker than that.
I always knew that was what that was about.
I
knew.
It was like I saw the commercial. I was like, this is going to be important somehow.
Oh, all right. Hey, the Redneck Prepper, what is up, man? Brofist, good to see you. Man, look. I have to go wash my mind. Guys, we're going to... Look, so, future house business, wanting to have a panel show where we invite you guys on.
Mm-hmm.
Or just do a hangout. And I want to bring back Spooky Chit, where it's mostly of a show of odd sightings and stuff.
Right, yeah.
You know, we used to include stuff like that. We even used to do a whole show about it.
Yeah.
But
it's fun.
Wanting to bring those back before we round this out.
Because the economic, the secular, like all this stuff that we're reviewing, that's only one side of it. There's a whole spiritual side that's weird, and it's, you know, like unexplained stuff is happening out there.
That's right.
And it's interesting. I didn't mean to hit you. Like, how you doing?
No, I'm fine.
Guys, if we could, I'm asking for prayers for Landon again. You know, he's been having some issues lately, but God heals, and we are confident that he is going to be just fine.
God is the great physician.
That's right. That's
Yahweh,
right.
the great healer.
That's right. Also, if you could, please pray for Landon's sister Monica and her children.
That's right. Not trying to spam you guys. I dropped a link in my Facebook. Not that anyone uses that anymore. But I do have this. I made this for my sister. A PayPal. My sister's home was a total loss during Hurricane Ida. And now the insurance company that she was fighting with has gone bankrupt. And I made a way that if someone who could bless her, especially in these hard times, you know.
Right. We just did a little fundraiser. Put a little
fundraiser. And, so if you see me promoting that, I'm just trying to help my sister get, her house to be livable.
Right. Just something where they can move in.
Because the insurance company has now gone bankrupt and didn't finish,
Right.
Yeah. So it's a mess. Everything's a mess right now. But, hey, thank you for your prayers, guys. We're praying for you guys. If you have any questions, or if you want to reach out to us about anything, please feel free to hit us up on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You can DM us over there. Let's see. Tiff and I are down to one phone.
That's right. We lost one, lost Wyatt's, and broke mine.
Yeah. So, hey, we love you guys. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and hanging out with us. We are so thankful for you guys and everybody hanging out. It's like a family reunion. We're roughly aiming at going live, like with the unspecified times, kind of this setup. 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Our work, it slows down and then it ramps up.
Yeah.
So sometimes we might not be able to fulfill uploads or go live.
Right.
But
Weekends
I don't want to break
harder.
the cycle. So that's why I want to add on panel show.
Right.
So that maybe if I didn't do a whole bunch of...
Maybe we could do the spooky chits on the weekends, because those will be later shows, because we'll be working and until later. And so maybe we could do those like one show on the weekend and then leave these for during the week.
That's right. And there are some days where I'm home and I could do like a daytime panel. But I don't know what works for you guys, because some of y'all are way on the West Coast. Y'all are everywhere. We're everywhere.
Right.
So all good health for Landon and Tiffany Elbow, your servants in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. What is your PayPal? No IG. Oh, that's right. Not everybody has IG. I also have a number that you guys can hit up, a Google number. It's like our Google number for like if we wanted to do a call-in, which I would rather do a panel, I think. I don't know, you guys are going to have to let me know what you prefer.
And he says, Landon, make a little video about your sister with the fundraiser info so we can share it around. That's a great idea.
Boom, that's a great idea. Probably need to do that. Thank you guys. Hey. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by. We love you.
Yes.
And until next time, we will see you guys on the next one. Much love, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you guys. I said everything again. Yeah. It's a repeat, I don't know if it's my brain or the computer or what. I don't know. Hey, love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow or not tomorrow.
Whenever.
We'll
see you.